Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I welcome you back to my channel, Native English with Passionate. Today, we are going to be taking a look at an important aspect of the British culture, which is jokes. Jokes is an important part of the British culture, as I've mentioned earlier. It familiarizes you with multiple meanings of words, a great way to put your brain to work, and it increases your comprehension skills. The most common for wordplay is the pun, and there is so much pun-related content circulating around the internet. Now, they are often referred to as dad jokes, and I personally love them. What's a pun? A pun uses multiple meanings of a term or similar sounding word for an intended humorous effect. So if you have a word and you intend to mean something, the particular word you are treating has multiple meanings, and what you intend is to sound funny or to crack a joke, so that's a pun. Puns often rely on three things. 1. Homophones. 2. Homographs. 3. Homonyms. Let's take them one after the other. Homophones are words that have the same pronunciation but different meanings, origins, or spellings. They can cause confusion in spoken language because they sound identical, so context with which they are used is extremely important. So you have a word, you have two words that they are spelled differently and they mean different things, but the pronunciation is the same. Those are homophones. Let's take some examples. Pair, P-A-I-R, a set of two, and P-E-A-R, pear, a type of fruit. Can you see? They have different spellings and meanings, but the same pronunciation. That is an example of homophone. The second example, flour, F-L-O-U-R, an ingredient for baking cake, and flower, F-L-O-W-E-R, a blooming plant. Another one, break, B-R-E-A-K, to separate into pieces, and B-R-A-K-E, a device for slowing a vehicle. Can you see? They have different meanings and spellings, but the same pronunciation. So those are examples of homophones. There are many of them. You can check them out on the internet. Homographs are words with the same spellings but different meanings, and they may have different pronunciations. These words often cause confusion in written language. Yes, the first one, they cause confusion in spoken language, while this cause confusion in written language because they have the same spelling. They have the same spelling but different meanings and pronunciation. Bow, written as B-O-W. It can be pronounced as bow when you mean to bend at the waist. If somebody bent at the waist, you say they bow down. Though, as a Muslim, you shouldn't bow for anyone except your creator. Okay. Bow, a decorative knot, which is usually found at the top of a gift item or at the top of a shoelace. That is a bow, a decorative knot. The third of them, of the components of a poem, homographs. The second example, we are still at the second component of a poem, homographs. We have tear, T-E-A-R, and we have tear, the same T-E-A-R. Tear, to rip something. When you break something, you damage it, so you tear it into parts, into pieces. And tear, a drop of liquid from the eye. The third examples of homographs. So lead, L-E-A-D, lead, a type of metal, and lead, to guide or direct. As you can see, they can cause confusion in writing because of their identical spelling. The third component now, homonyms, are words that have the same spelling and pronunciation but different meanings. This often cause confusion in both spoken and written language. And is a combination of homophones and homographs. Okay. Let's take a look at some examples. Bark, the outer covering of a tree. And bark, the sound a dog makes. B-A-R-K. They are spelled B-A-R-K and pronounced bark. Okay, but different meanings. You can see their meanings. The first, the outer covering of a tree, while the second, the sound a dog makes. Example 2. Bank, a financial institution, and bank, the side of a river. Third examples. Bat, a flying mammal. Bat, a piece of sports equipment. If you have been into table tennis before, if you have played table tennis before, you should know this. Bat. And if you have been to the farm, you get what it means. It meant to say you find a bat on your farm. Okay. Okay, now that we have all of that background info out of the way, let's see how you do with some of these play on words. If you don't understand them, it's okay. Let's see how you do. Firstly, did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now. Pretty funny. Did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? He's all right now. Do you get it? Do you get what's funny? Jokes are funny when you have to explain them. That's why I'm here. right? This absolutely hilarious pun plays on homophones, all right. When you say all right, doing well, when something or somebody is doing well, you say they are all right. And also, when something has no right, left side, you say they are all right. So, did you hear about the guy whose whole left side was cut off? Is all right now. Is what we meant is that the man has no left side, but it might be misinterpreted as that is fine, is doing well, and that's not. Okay? The joke is the man who had his left side cut off will be in a terrible state, right? Somebody whose left side has been removed will be in a terrible state, in a difficult and worried state. Is that not? But the pun lines reveal all right is doing well. All right also means only the right side, no left, because he had his left side removed. He consists solely of his right, so he's all right. Wow, that's so much funny, and that's why I've explained it. Hope you get it. Did you hear about the bicycle that couldn't stand on its own? Yeah, it was too tired. Another homophones. Here we come. Too tired and too tired. Don't forget I told you that homophones have the same pronunciation but different spellings. The first, too tired, when somebody is exhausted, is spelled as T double O and TIERED, too tired. While the second, TWOTYRED, too tired, it has two wheels or two tires. The bike couldn't stand on its own because something with two tires will fall over, and something which is very tired will also fall over. Can you see? Doubly funny, hilarious. Why is a person so unhappy all the time? Because they give them a sack every morning. My husband is in the back and he actually loves spying. Do you ever do that when you see a funny video on the phone? Now, you can see how homonyms can also be used to make puns. Here we come to the double meanings of the phrase to be given the sack. Why is a person so unhappy all the time? Underline the clause, give them a sack, because they give them a sack every morning. And that we've come to explain the meaning of the clause. In this context, to be given the sack means to be fired or dismissed from a job. When you give somebody the sack, it means they are fired from the work. But the joke is that the postman is always given the sack every morning. So this is what they carry the posts in. Okay. My mom tried to make a joke about the TV, but it wasn't remotely funny. Here comes another homonyms. In this context, adding ly to remote makes the adverb remotely, which means not at all. My mom tried to make a joke about the TV, but it wasn't remotely funny. It wasn't in any way funny, not at all funny. Remote is also shortened in informal way to say remote control, the device used to change channels on the TV. Remote control, or short it, remote. That's pure comedy gold if you ask me. She tried to make a joke about the TV, but it wasn't remotely funny. Are you ready for the final and most difficult dad joke? Almost difficult dad joke. Take one. This is all about fraction. There is a fine line between numerator and denominator. It's okay if you didn't get that. Only a fraction will understand. This is actually a double puns. We have two puns in this joke. There is a fine line between numerator and denominator. We have underlined the phrase fine line. It's okay if you didn't get that. Only a fraction will understand. First, in mathematics, a fraction is a numerical quantity that represents a part of a whole expressed as a numerator over denominator. Part of the joke is that there is a fine line which refers to the horizontal line that separates the fraction, but a fine line also means a very small difference. So the fine line which is being referred to is talking about the lines between the numerator and denominator in the fraction. Okay, but the fine line can also mean a very small difference. Let's take an example where you can use the phrase fine line as to mean a very small difference. There is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, because if you feel confidence in a matter, people will see you as some people might conceive you to be an arrogant person. But here we are saying that there is a fine line between numerator and denominator because there is a fraction. The second part of the joke is that the word fraction means a small number outside of this mathematical meaning. Only a fraction will understand, that is, only a small number of people will understand. Okay, I know this is pretty challenging, but learning English is a bit enjoyable when you are consistent. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel, Native English with Passionate, and like this video to let other people see it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget again to like this video if you find it helpful and subscribe to the channel. Turn the notification button on to be among the first to receive my update. Bye.